Welcome all. Today, 15th of May 2026, we are starting our in conversation session with our very distinguished guest, Professor G.S. Bajpai ji, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of National Law University, Delhi, a premier law university of India. And with me is Mr. Varun Bansali, CEO of Rajasthan Samvad, a leading news channel. I, Professor M.K. Bhandari, welcome all of you. Sir, you are most welcome to our interactive talk session in conversation, in which we invite leading experts from India and abroad to share their life and academic journey and share their inspirational goals and future plans. In this series today, I welcome you once again. It's a privilege for us that Professor G.S. Bajpai, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of NLU Delhi, has spared time for us, and in next 25 to 30 minutes, we will know from him his academic, professional profile, as well as how he has taken the National Law University at the pinnacle of the educational journey. So, Professor Bajpai ji, it's my privilege that you are with us, and you are also the honorary member of the Global Academy of Law, Tech, Education and Research. We popularly call it as GALTER. And you were very much present in our recent global summit at Hyderabad, and your support in the summit is also highly praiseworthy. Sir, may I know from horse's mouth, what has been your academic life? What has been your, if you can share your educational life, and how you have attained this distinction of heading the National Law University, Delhi? I think your experience will inspire our younger friends and younger generation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor M.K. Bhandari ji, for having me here today, along with Mr. Varun, for this conversation. And I must say in the beginning that you are talking about inspirations. In fact, you yourself is such a great inspiration to the academic community and academic fraternity in India and abroad. And the gesture that you have shown in terms of promoting the legal tech education in the country by your robust contribution and such a wonderful book that you have released during the Culture Meet in Hyderabad last month. Well, you have asked my journey. In fact, my journey in legal academia has never been a linear movement through position or institutions. It has been a continuous attempt to understand how law operates in society, how legal systems impacts human lives, and how legal education can become more socially meaningful and institutionally transformative. Uh, I studied in Sagar University in Madhya Pradesh, and that university is perhaps the biggest university in the central region. In those times, that was the only university affiliating more than 200 colleges, which are now in Chhattisgarh also and undivided Madhya Pradesh. And I had the honor of meeting some stalwarts and that university, belongs to Dr. Hari Singh Gaur, who is
Yes.
the founding dean of Delhi University and also Nagpur University founder. He founded Sagar University. And
Yes.
Sagar University has a very remarkable history which many people will not know. Why I'm saying, because some inspiration I draw from that university itself. That university was built by a person's own money, which was never there. A public university was created by his hard earned money. He was a great lawyer who practiced in London, and he was later became such a noted lawyer. But he came from a very poor family, and he didn't have money around those times to, have his education done. But then he proceeded and he became such a prominent figure. So I had the occasion of seeing the law faculty where he founded that faculty also, and the university. And I came into contact with criminology department there, which was then headed by and founded by Professor D.P. Jattar, who was a most prominent person in the field of criminology and forensic science in India. He is credited to have founded that subject in the country. And I have seen him, and I developed my interest in criminology. So I pursued criminology also, and then I wanted always to study this subject little more, in advanced way. So I moved to Delhi, and I went to the Indian Institute of Public Administration for a reason, where my guru, Professor K.S. Shukla, he was again a very noted person and a great personality and a great criminologist and a great criminal justice expert. He was very difficult to access, but he agreed to guide me. And I worked in IIPA in the division where he was heading. And that was my beginning. And I came into contact with Professor B.B. Pandey, Professor S.P. Srivastava, Professor Upendra Bakshi, I met there. And a lot of people I met there in D.C. Pandey in ILI. A lot of people during my PhD days in Delhi. So that was my beginning. But to cut the story short, as I have said, that I didn't enter this field with a narrow doctrinal orientation. My understanding and foundation was shaped by criminology, victimology, policing, empirical engagement with criminal justice system. And very early in my academic life, I realized that criminal law could not be understood only through statutes and judgment. One had to understand prisons, police stations, social realities, procedural failures, institutional behavior. And this orientation shaped much of my scholarship and administrative thinking. I worked in after my IIPA days I got selected through UPSC to the Bureau of Police Research and Development as a gazetted officer in the research division. I was a research officer there. There, actually, I got exposed to the country's realities of policing and criminal justice system. I traveled widely from there. And I developed, and then, but I wanted to be in the university ultimately. I went back to Sagar University, and then I taught almost 9 years before uh, by the time the National Law Institute University in Bhopal was also created, and Professor Rekhi was the first director who was appointed. So one fine day, I received the call from Professor Rekhi. He said, Professor Pandey talked about you, that you are here. He said, why don't you invite Professor Bajpai for criminal law lectures? So I delivered a series of lectures there, and he was such a great, again, personality. He has attended my classes and he offered me, but I was not sure about national law universities. I was a full-time faculty member in Sagar University with a pensionable. So I said, sir, I'll definitely, look to it. But I have been going there, but subsequently, Professor Mulchand Sharma came. I have continued. He also offered, but I couldn't join an NLIU unless one person whose impact in my life is very profound, and he is responsible for me uh, for to introduce me in the national law school system formally. It was Professor Balraj Chauhan. he became the director and the vice chancellor of NLI Bhopal. The posts were advertised, and very reluctantly I decided to go because I was in a traditional university. But then in 2007, I joined NLI Bhopal as a professor. And then I continued there for some time. And my journey then became, then again, I came to NLU Delhi. Please let me know when you have to interrupt me because it's
No,
getting.
no, please continue. Please continue.
So
Our
to
normal duration is around 30 to 35
no, I mean
minutes.
you can ask the
So
question in between.
definitely, Varun would also like to interact
So
with you. So
so
please take your time. Please take your time.
I had a different experience in teaching in an LIU because that was a national law school, and I groomed myself as a different kind of teacher there. I Because I was a hardcore researcher, because research was my first passion. And I continued with my research there also. And thanks to Professor Chauhan, who created a criminal justice division there, which I was heading, and I was the chair of that. And there was a lot of activity we organized, and NLIU became the third best law school after Bangalore and Nalsar. Nalsar and NLIU Bhopal came around the same time. Then I came to Delhi, because in 2008 NLU Delhi was also set up, but it was in the beginning 2008, 2010 I came to NLU Delhi for a lecture. I still remember there was a foreign delegation. So my friend Professor S.K.D. Rao invited me for that lecture. And there I met for the first time another person whose impact, influence, and guidance I value so much. It was the first and founding Vice Chancellor, Professor Ranveer Singh, who was in the chair here. And I just met him. Professor B.V. Pandey was also, he introduced me to Professor Ranveer Singh in 2010. He said that, look, we are actually developing this place, and if you have inclination, you can also think of joining. Because in Bhopal I have done enough. I wanted to again make a shift to, because I have worked in Delhi before also. So I thought the Delhi is the place where I should come back. So I came to Delhi as a professor, and then the story goes so well because NLU Delhi I have seen from the beginning. As I have said, I've joined only in 2010, and university came into being in 2008. So one fine day, he said that Professor S.K. Rao was going as vice chancellor to Odisha. He appointed me as a registrar. I was not initially ready because I was hardcore academician. He said, look, he was a great man. Again, I would say NLU Delhi was founded with a different vision. And a lot of credit for that goes to Professor Ranveer Singh. He envisioned this university in a very different way. I only came to know when I became registrar. And the entire period that I worked with him, which was as much as 7 years as registrar. And that was the key period of NLU Delhi, which has where it has groomed to be one of the finest law teaching universities in the country. And working with him was a great experience, and he allowed me to take decision. He allowed me to take vision of the university forward, and we worked very diligently, worked very hard. And one focus which we have jointly decided, and which continues, which not many law schools have actually done, that is the special focus on research. And we have set up number of centers. It was again a generosity of Professor Ranveer Singh. He allowed some remarkable teacher to be appointed, who and the Center on Death Penalty, Project 39A, Center on Communication Governance, Center on Criminology and Victim. All these centers were set up, and we carried this vision very vigorously. And those 10 years were so, I would say, extenuating, I would say, and that became the game changer for the National Law University.
Yes. True. So, well, it has been a very inspiring, interesting, and challenging journey you have undertaken. so far. I know then you also joined as a vice chancellor of for short period RG NLU
Yes.
Patiala, and then you came back to NLU Delhi for last almost 3 4 years, if I am not wrong. Uh, Professor Bajpai, as you have mentioned about Dr. Ranveer Singh, we have been a very close friends, although he is senior to me in age. But ever since he was the first vice chancellor of Nalsar, and I was at Jodhpur, he invited me to join Nalsar and associate with him. Although I could not do that because of my family circumstances, but he was kind enough to remember me. Then also he remembered me when he was in Delhi, and now he is also honorary member of the Galter. Uh, it has been really great pleasure working with him. He invited me to two convocations as a special invitee to witness the convocation in Delhi. And there are many other memories I carry with him. He's really a wonderful person, no doubt about it. Sir, I know today you are a leading voice in criminal jurisprudence, and if I may say so, you are playing a vital role in rewriting the criminal jurisprudence. The three new versions of the old laws, IPC, CRPC, and evidence, you have NLU have played a vital role in helping the Ministry of Law in rewriting these new laws. And I also know because we were one of the jury member who conferred the Professor S.R. Bansali National Award for Excellence in Law to you and to Professor C. Rajkumar jointly. So we have your detailed profile with us. And it was really difficult task for the jury, which consisted of, as you know, none other than Professor Honorable Justice A.K. Sikri, Professor Upendra Bakshi, and Professor Jaswal, and I as a member secretary. So, but we are happy that the jury selected two best eminent scholars in the country for this coveted award. I understand that you also have been given the one of the most I would say valuable uh, fellowship or valuable I would say grant for rewriting or exploring the victim jurisprudence, victim rights and duties by Wipro Foundation, which goes into 5 or 6 crores, if I remember correctly. That's a great honor and that's a great recognition of your work. And one more feather in your cap, which very few people might be knowing outside, that you are a great poet. Your literary taste, I have seen it on number of occasions, sharing some of the few finest couplets or poems or uh, so I would also like to dedicate one two lines for you, though I am not a poet, but uh, the थके हैं पैर अभी न अभी हिम्मत हारी है,
Hmm.
थके हैं पैर अभी न हिम्मत हारी है, हौसला है जिंदगी में कुछ कर दिखाने का, इसीलिए ये सफर अभी भी जारी है.
Wow,
So we
wonderful.
we pray Almighty that you have many more destinations to cover, and I would again request you to kindly share with us your future plans and strategies to make the NLU Delhi, where you are currently heading, a finest institution of law, education, and research, not only in the country, but in the committee of other law universities or other universities of the world. So I would
Yes.
like to know from your mind, what is in your mind about it?
Mr. Bhandari, I always believe that we need to understand the idea of a university. The idea of a university is something which is very, very vital and very, very important because hardly people understand what is the idea of a university. So when I work in a university, I always ask this question. what is the meaning of this university? It's not about admitting the people and conferring the degree. It has, I treat university as a factory of ideas.
Very good.
It is the source of generating original knowledge, you
That
know,
is true. That is true.
where freedom of thinking is given the highest reward and head is held high always, so dignity.
Yes,
I
yes.
You have made two very important mentions relating to my journey, and I consider them two very important high points in my career. One was being appointed as the convener of the Committee on Criminal Law Reform by the Ministry of Home Affairs. And many people would not know the story, which is very unusual for a university to get such an assignment, because generally this is done by the Law Commission. But my experience is that that I am a newspaper writer also. I write articles.
I know more than 100, right?
Yes,
In all leading newspapers on
yes,
criminal law and other related topics. I know,
yeah.
I read it with great interest. And
So it has something to do with those articles only. So I have written two articles, one in Hindu and one in Express, after knowing the fact that the government has taken a decision to reform criminal laws. And I wrote two articles which were, people say they have been very powerfully argued and written. And because of those two articles, there was some discussion in the MHA that I understand, because it was
yes.
reportedly communicated that some people noticed it. And to my surprise, I saw the ministry has decided to have a wider consultation, requesting the university to make proposals if they can, suggest how the criminal law should be reformed. And then we have submitted a proposal, and I went to the ministry before the Honorable Union Home Minister to make a presentation. And ultimately, this task was assigned to NLU Delhi.
Great.
And we couldn't believe that these 150 years old laws. uh, but thanks to Professor B.B. Pandey, who is our guru, and he said he guided this entire vision, and Professor Ranveer Singh was on the chair of the committee, and we took it and we did it. And I'm very thankful that in the Lok Sabha, the National Law University Delhi was mentioned by
Great.
Home Minister for its
Yeah.
contribution. It's a rare point, rare occasion
Yes. Yes.
for any university to feel proud in terms of contributing to the policy and governance of the nation.
Very.
So becoming relevant to the governance is a very important aspect that a university must pursue. That was my thing. And another same thing happened, that when I wrote on right to repair in the Indian
Oh,
Express, I received a call from the Secretary, Department of Consumer Affairs, that we want to pursue this reform in consumer law. And he constituted a committee where he kept me as an expert member. We drafted the right to repair thing, and as a result, you can see on the website of the Consumer Affairs Ministry, right to repair is featuring now.
oh, great.
This is
Wonderful.
the
Wonderful.
satisfaction. Sometime your writing result into something great. I
Yeah.
also remember when I wrote something similar, Honorable Justice Geeta Mittal invited me to be an amicus in a case which has brought for the first time the matter of wrongful prosecution into discussion. And
Oh,
again, if I remember, 277 report of Law Commission, the High Court directed the Law Commission to take up this matter, or based on my report as a amicus, and that report. I mean, these things are
the
very, very satisfying for
transformational.
a
They are
candidate.
transformational. Yes.
Transformation.
Yeah.
And heart to heart, I remain a researcher and teacher. It is another thing that I became vice chancellor, registrar, but I never consider them as something. They are very great honor, and I'm thankful to Almighty. But I still derive my whole pleasure in contributing in academic life of the things. So you mentioned about RGNUL also. I'll make a very brief mention. People generally, that is lesser known thing. RGNUL, when I joined, it was also in search of some academic direction and academic excellence. And I derived a lot of satisfaction at my personal level that I could do something there. and which was again, appreciated by a lot of people. But I'll come back to your question, which you asked, that what are the other plans as far as the National Law University Delhi is concerned. So when I came back to NLU Delhi again after RGNUL brief stint, I realized that this is another great opportunity for heading such a great institution which has been ranking second for eighth consecutive times in NIRF, and we got now QSS ranking in the band of 200 now. So this is a great. So I have focused on two things. I said to my faculty members that come what may, the classroom teaching continues to be very, very vital, which nobody talks. And I said, I'm interested in classroom teaching quality more and more. People thought that what is that people are talking about so many new things he is taught. I said, the syllabus of law is uniform in the country. Every law college teaches the same syllabus. Then distinguishing feature is the pedagogy. I said you can distinguish yourself only on the basis of pedagogy. So I brought a lot of innovation in pedagogy. And as a result, when students sit down in a list of, say, 50 institutions, if he has to make choices, NLU Delhi always figures at the top,
Yeah,
irrespective of.
undoubtedly.
So that is our, vision. And lately, I am interested in technology and AI applications more and more. That is your core area, and you are such yourself such a great expert. So I have devoted past 2 years in learning legal tech completely. I'm studying more than criminal law, AI, and technology. So I have
I
developed myself so much in these areas that I have done three workshop, all India workshop, almost free, to legal researchers, how to use AI. And now I am asking our teachers to upskill yourself in AI and try to use AI in your pedagogy, evaluation, and learning. Now, one of the things I'll mention, this is my experiment which I have recently done. And this is one example I'm curating as to where I'm taking the industry in terms of pedagogy and legal research. I have used text mining and NLP for analyzing the constitutional law judgments. And those seven judgments I have analyzed, which are on constitutional morality. And it is a new kind of methodological sophistications I am trying to introduce, which is manually very difficult to do. And you will find that a constitutional law paper is having tables, figures, number, diagrams, and all that. This is a
Great,
unique
unique,
contribution,
unique.
because we appreciate Professor MP Singh, MP Jain, Professor Upendra Bakshi. They have brought an idea of the teaching of constitution to us, and we inherited that system. But I thought, in this 21st century, in this age of AI, what ought to be the method of constitutional law teaching? So I'm experimenting with AI in pedagogy
I
these
know,
days.
I know,
And
I know.
this is happening in such a brilliant manner. And on the other front, I would say that we are creating some centers now, AI and legal tech with MATI. We are proposing a center of excellence, which would be a nationwide center on cybersecurity, cyber law, and AI. And we are also revitalizing our Project 39A. We have recently set up another center with the help of Cambridge University, Cambridge NLUD Center on Global Police Research. This is a recently. So my institutional visions has four recurring ideas. One is research-oriented legal education, interdisciplinary engagement, public relevance of law schools, and global visibility with social grounding.
Very,
These
very well
four
said.
things I always keep in mind, that whatever you do, and I am teaching a very new age generation. And if you are not upskilling yourself or upscaling yourself methodologically, technologically, then you will not be able to justice with this new age student who is very dynamic, very competent,
No
and
doubt.
very competitive. So I'm thinking that research will continue to be my focus. Data analysis and data usage in law research is also my area, which I am doing. But at the same time, other branches of law, like IPR, like corporate law, in all these centers, we are introducing a lot of innovation and we are working very closely with government. That is very important. And I'm very happy and happy to state that somehow the government was quite sensitive to our research and whatever we have submitted. And as a result, we are receiving a lot of proposals from the government ministries to set up different centers. So, like for instance, Ministry of Urban Housing has given us a huge project for evaluating
Yes,
RERA regime. And
yes, yes,
we are setting up this regional center. Recently, UNICEF has given us a chair on juvenile justice. UNESCO
yes,
has given us a chair on sports law. So these chairs are manned by different professor, and the ecosystem in the university I am expanding. And I am very happy to share that apart from 60 faculty members, I have more than 150 researchers who are
good,
working in different centers. They are not
very
PhD
good,
scholars. They
very
are
good.
the employed researchers, academic fellows, research associate, research executives. Their number is as many as 150. And they are all
Yes,
very well paid.
thank you, sir,
So
thank
this
you.
is the expansion.
Yes. So, what I understand and what I know personally, because I have been interacting with you in person or via mobile or online, that besides being a very humble and benevolent administrator, you are a hardcore researcher. And in all your efforts, especially wherever there is a technological engagements, the Galter would be always happy to assist you. We have
Thank
a dedicated team of close to 250 members. Normally, a university won't have the faculty of this size. Internationally, you know it very well, the strength of the Galter, and we would be happy to associate with all your initiatives wherever you think that Galter can add value to it. That is an open offer to you, sir. And
you.
now I move on to Varun Bansali. He also has some points to discuss with you. Over to you,
Yes.
Varun.
Sir, it is a privilege to hear you out and hear how vivid experience you have, exposure you have, and what sort of things you are working towards making education more powerful, more great. So that is wonderful, sir. Also, hearing you out, I have understood one more thing that being a teacher is a very difficult task because you have to be a mentor, you have to be a guide, you have to be an inspiration, and with all of that, you have to be a student all the time. And to this age and experience, you are constantly learning all the things and learning to the pace of this generation. It is something which is very great. So, sir, first thing I want to ask you that being in this space of education, being in this space of technology, being in this space of learning, when people recognize your efforts, when people recognize that yes, teachers are also some people who are doing great, because I think being a teacher sometimes being a thankless job as well. So, how does it feel when you have been given the award of winner of national award for excellence in law? Because I have seen Professor Mahendra Bhandari, Professor S.R. Bansali, all the time they are learning and they are giving education and never, thinking of getting such a recognition. But yes, if you are on the right path, you get recognitions. How do you think? How do you feel, sir, when such recognitions get your way?
See, Varunji, you started with the the first part of your question, that how it feels like when enough things don't come to your part. I always say, see, being a teacher is not about being appointed as a teacher. Teacher by appointment and teacher by temperament are two different things.
Oh, wonderful.
Sometimes people may be teacher because they have been appointed. But to my mind, with due respect to everybody, I don't think that teachership or teacherhood happens. I call it teacherhood. It doesn't happen by virtue of appointment. If you are not a teacher by temperament, you can't be a teacher by appointment also. So you have to have that element of love to teaching. Because I am a teacher because I love teaching. That there is no other thing. I have left government service. My parents insisted that you could have joined civil services. I would have cleared civil service. I can say with all, I was a very good student throughout. But I never appeared in any competitive exam. I wanted to be in academics from day one. I knew that there would be problems. I may not be very well paid, but I thought, let me pursue my instinct. And I pursued, and I have no regrets. I fared well, relatively well, and I'm thankful to the Almighty. But point is, at times people ask in very miserable terms, "Ki you are doing so much, but what are you getting?" So I always feel that there is a, Bashir Badr said, you know, जिस दिन से चला हूं मेरी मंजिल पे नजर है, मैंने कभी मील का पत्थर नहीं देखा.
Wonderful.
And
Irshad.
and second thing, which is again very interlinked, people have journeys. Professor Bhandari ji is sitting here. People will say Professor Bhandari is such a great name, but you ask his journey. So I also had a journey because I have completed my almost 38 years in academics. I also had a very tough journey. And at times you are not appreciated. What Varun said is right. It's you are not given adequate. तो अगेन मुझे याद आता है कि एक शेर फिर याद आता है कि ये फूल
Irshad,
मुझे क्या
Irshad.
कोई ये फूल मुझे क्या कोई विरासत में मिले हैं? तुमने मेरा कांटों भरा बिस्तर नहीं देखा.
क्या बात,
हाँ,
क्या बात.
क्या बात है.
सर,
तो
इस बात पर
Very
मैं एक छोटी सी चीज कहना चाहता हूँ
जी
कि टीचर्स के लिए, क्योंकि कविता की बात चल रही है, मैंने अपनी जिंदगी में बहुत से टीचर्स टीचर्स के साथ में रहा हूँ, टीचर्स के साथ मेरा
उनके
जीवन
तो
रहा.
दादाजी जो मेरे गुरु रहे हैं,
जी
प्रोफेसर
जी
एस
जी.
आर बंसाली,
तो
ही
मैंने बहुत
इज ए नो वर्ड्स टू explain his persona and his
आई नो.
मैंने
greatness.
बहुत करीब से सर टीचर्स देखे हैं, तो मैंने भी कुछ लाइंस लिखी है. आप
अच्छा अच्छा.
आप
प्लीज प्लीज.
आपके
आज तो ये मुशायरा हो गया है.
और वो आप
चलिए.
दोनों को डेडिकेटेड है. बहुत ही रिलेटेबल चीजों को ऑब्जर्व करके वो लिखा है. तू डॉक्टर बनेगा, मेरा नाम करेगा, अपने नाम के आगे तू डॉक्टर लिखेगा, इंजीनियर तू बनेगा, सबसे आगे बढ़ेगा, पीछे हमेशा तेरे होगी सारी दुनिया.
वाह.
सोच उनकी भी अगर सोचो ऐसी ही होती, जिनके बच्चे हैं टीचर, तो पढ़ाई नहीं होती.
हाँ 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 हाँ.
क्या बात
टीचर
है.
की
वाह.
वजह से कितने बनते हैं डॉक्टर, टीचर की वजह से हम बढ़ते हैं ऊपर. इसके बाद भी टीचर को है ये पूरा क्लियर कि आगे बढ़ना नहीं, आगे बढ़ाना है.
वाह.
अपने सपने तोड़ दो, सिर्फ पढ़ाना है.
बहुत बढ़िया.
तो ये
बहुत
कविता थोड़ी
अच्छा.
लंबी है, लेकिन ये कुछ लाइनें
नहीं
थी तो आप
लंबी
दोनों को
नहीं.
मैं डेडिकेट करना चाहता
इतनी अच्छी सेंटिमेंट्स इस कविता की, और आपने सही कहा. मैं आना चाह रहा हूं जो आपने मुझे सवाल पूछा था, दैट द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ रिसीविंग दिस अवार्ड. Actually, I have said, I think, very briefly during this award conferring ceremony also. I don't know whether it went unnoticed or what. I said something which I believe and I maintain. I generally don't say the things which I don't believe and maintain. So therefore, the things come from my heart. I always feel that these awards are, you know, the occasions for you to be grateful. Awards are conferred so that the gratitude continues in you. Because when you become grateful, then everything happens.
Very true.
So award makes you humble and grateful.
Very true.
So,
Very true.
so this is very important to be humble and grateful. And these awards are occasion actually to convey your gratitude. The moment award will be conferred on you, you will always try to convey your gratitude. That is the function of award. Very latent function, I would say. So we all remembered our teacher. The moment award was conferred, why we went to our teacher? Parents, teacher, anybody who has supported your journey. So I'm thankful to again Professor Bhandari and the Bhansali Trust for providing me an opportunity to be grateful to so many people, as I have said during that period, that there are people whom I have learned and they have inculcated different kinds of values. I always say my student, I say that it may happen that you may get XYZ thing quickly. And what is important is how you are managing your growth is very important. वो एक लाइन में अगर मैं कहता हूं ऑलवेज सी द मैसेज ऑफ ए टीचर इज ऑलवेज वन वर्ड बी टीचेबल
Be
be
teachable. Very
teachable
true.
is such a beautiful word because people have ceased to be teachable. So be teachable is something which is very, very important. And I always say that on that day also, I felt very humbled because I remembered everybody who was, the part of my long, long journey. As I have said, I changed the institution, I left the positions, I moved from all places to places. I went to abroad to pursue my. See, it was another thing which I have forgotten. See, I had taken some decision which were. So I was appointed in NLIU. Before appointed as a professor, I got appointed as a state professor also. But I said to Professor Munshi Sharma was in the committee, I said I got selected for Commonwealth Scholarship to pursue my PhD in England. So I'll be away to England for 1 year. Now you please tell me that what should I do? He said, you go, we'll definitely try. And I have not chosen the position, I have chosen the scholarship, and I went to pursue my postdoctorate. And I did it. I said, fine, if the Prarabdha is very great thing, as we
Yes,
say,
yes.
and I have no regret. And therefore I say that all these awards or these occasions are very important. You feel evolved. It is about the recognition of your growth. Somebody is saying that you have done well. Because generally I confer the honors to people here. But hardly I get opportunity that somebody. One day my student came, some student came. I was very happy and touched. They said, sir, a lot of things are happening. You must be very stressed. Nobody may be asking you that, how are you doing? I said, you are right, because I generally ask everybody, how are you doing? So you, being human, you also feel always nudged to do better.
Very true.
Uh, Let me tell you, Varun, a secret which I think he knows or Professor Rajkumar knows. You people do not know. When we were sending the invitation to nominate or get nominated for the award, because as a member secretary, it was my duty to bring top nominations so that the jury can decide out of those. I requested Professor Bajpai, sir, you send your nomination, or I know you will not send, so please tell some of your colleague to send your nomination. He was very reluctant. अरे यार क्या है ठीक है अरे मैंने कहा सर नहीं वी नीड सम गुड nominations. I don't know whether your name will be clicked by jury or not. That I can't say anything about that. It's a jury's decision, but please nominate. Or finally, after my persuasion, he asked one of his colleague, who has been my student also, that Professor Bhandari is telling so much, so please send the nomination. Similar happened with the Rajkumar, C. Rajkumar. He was also very relaxed. अरे ठीक है यार, it's okay. मैंने कहा नहीं भैया प्लीज, राजकुमार जी मैं कह रहा हूँ तो कुछ सोच के कह रहा हूँ आपको। मेरा काम नहीं है कि मैं किसी को मतलब एडवोकेसी करूं भाई आप भेजो, पर मैं आपको कुछ कह रहा हूं तो मैं सोच के कह रहा हूं। तो reluctantly again, he also asked one of his teachers, Srijit, okay, Srijit, send my profile as directed by Professor Bhandari. And fortunately, we are fortunate that jury found both of them the most appropriate uh, awardees for this time. So thank you, sir, for honoring my suggestion.
Very
And
good.
the rest is the history now. So, well, okay, before we conclude, uh, I would also like to ask Varun, kindly take some message from Professor Bajpai for our younger generation as we are at the crossroad of the legal education. Legal education is witnessing a lot of stress and strains and lot of promises as well. Not only stress and strains, but lot of challenges, promises, especially in terms of the modern technological advancements like AI-driven tools, uh, metaverse, quantum computing now changing the entire fabric of the technology. Uh, so please ask, I want you to ask because
Right,
you are
right.
younger. So it's your prerogative to request Professor
Sir,
Bajpai.
because you people are those people who have this responsibility as well, and you people are giving to the society this one very important thing, which is direction. And without direction, the younger generation can go here and there. So, what will be the right direction, and what will be your message to the younger generation for going forward in this age of higher technology, as well as keeping the humanity and the other things also intact?
Thank you, Varun. This is very important thing that you have raised because we deal with a very young and impressionable group of students. And I believe that this is very important for them to first, take care of their mental and physical health. I'm seeing these days that for various reasons, the health issues, mental and physical, both get compromised. And I think serious attention is needed on the part of institutions also to provide a very basic and, I would say expert guidance to these students as to how to manage their emotions, how to manage their stress emerging from various sources. And the student should not feel shy of seeking professional help. It is about empowering themselves. So that is one. Second, I also believe that these days the law school systems have a very rigorous schedule, and it is very important for the student to keep their time management very efficient. And I have seen the students who do the smart time management, they are very successful and they don't land into any kind of anxiety mode or something like that. Third thing is very important, maintaining, family and community and social relationship, because we are actually forgetting the importance of the people who care. We are relying on machines and, technology more and more at the cost of evading relationships. I think these relationships are a strength that they must, and I always share this with parents also, that the success story of a student can only be written if you maintain a great understanding with your words and with students with their parents. Fourth is very important, which is about, thinking in wider terms. It's not simply about job. It is about becoming a responsible citizen becoming, efficient and effective in contributing to the growth of the country. We generally go for instrumental objective of legal education. I always believe that these law schools are, for that matter, any institution, they have been created to nurture responsible citizens. And these are very important goals. And last thing which I always say, find that in 5 years or whatever duration you have here, you read a lot of law books, but explore other interests. So like sports, read some different literature, you read poetry, see good cinema, see good art. Music is very important in life. If you want to be a complete human being, love music, love literature, love creativity. A creative person is always very effective. So these are couple of my always maintain and convey to the student to have them on your priority.
Thank you,
Thank you so
sir.
much, sir.
Thank you, Professor Bajpai ji. I think you have, in your message, you have given the holistic way of life, the mantras which are essential for leading a meaningful, purposeful, and humanistic life in this current world. Uh, Last few two lines I am dedicating to you. सीढ़ियां उन्हें मुबारक हो, सीढ़ियां उन्हें मुबारक हो जिन्हें छत पर जाना है। मेरी मंजिल तो आसमान है, रास्ता मुझे खुद बनाना है।
वाह,
मेरी मंजिल तो आसमान है, रास्ता मुझे खुद बनाना है। और मैं चाहूंगा कि आज के इस कन्वर्सेशन को हम आपकी कुछ दो लाइनों से कंक्लूड करें, जो कि हम सबको एक आनंद की अनुभूति देगी। प्लीज।
आपके इसी जो अंदाज को मैं थोड़ा सा बढ़ा के कहूंगा कि अगर देखना है मेरी उड़ान को, अगर देखना है मेरी उड़ान को, तो कुछ और ऊंचा कर दो आसमान
क्या बात,
को।
क्या बात है। Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू, माय प्लेयर।
Thank you very much, Professor Bajpai ji, for sparing time and sharing your lifelong lessons and journey with us. Thank you, Varun, on behalf of Rajasthan Samvad and Galter. We offer you our sincere thanks and gratitude. फिर मिलेंगे। नमस्कार, जय हिंद।
नमस्कार, नमस्कार, जय हिंद। थैंक यू वरुण।
Should we conclude, Varun?
Yes.
मैं लॉग आउट।
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.